All right. What's good with it, y'all? It's been a minute. I know I don't have that many people watching me or looking for me or anything, but this is my video showing that I'm going to be back to the regular program of recording. And it's also a little bit of a lesson to why I stopped recording and what was going. It's a lesson to you that I'm going to share because I know a lot of people are going through this right now, but including friends. So I hope this goes out to my friends as well. It probably will. Y'all got me on TikTok and YouTube. You'll watch the whole video. It's only gonna be like maybe 10 minutes. Don't mind my look. It's 6 in the morning. I have not been to sleep yet. Um, have you ever felt like you gave your all in a relationship and then you started putting that person before you and it still wasn't enough? Because that's what I kind of have been doing, and that's why I haven't been recording or anything. It's because I felt so pressured to make this woman feel like she wants to stay instead of just letting go, and it ended up hurting me in the get go because I was ignoring red flags. I was ignoring all the red flags, which is something that we all tend to do once we actually like somebody, and that's what I'm going to talk about because a lot of us are going. It's damn near breakup season right now. Everybody's getting broken up with for stupid, petty ass reasons, or it's just straight up someone cheated on you or whatever. But my idea for it is why, when people get broken, or they get broken up with, or they get hurt, why do they go straight to, oh, these women or these men ain't shit? I don't get that because at the end of the day, you you saw that man or that woman, you saw their red flags at the very get go, but because they showed you just a little bit of attention that you're not used to, because let's be honest, especially us men, we're not used to that attention. We're not used to that good, valid attention. We don't get that. We always got to make first move, and it feels like we have to provide or some shit like that. So when you get that little ass attention, you end up jumping into the relationship, and then you expect a lot more, even though you know you're probably not gonna get anything else. You feel like there's more to it. And that's our first mistake. That's my first mistake. Simple story. When I was in that relationship, the relationship was like 9 months long. I have no beef with the girl. It's her choice. I don't like how she ended it, but it's still her choice. And when she did end it, I was mad. I was mad at first because I was doing everything a man, well, I was doing everything a man would for the woman that they want, or I was doing everything that a woman would want their man to do. Talk about the gifts, emotionally there, everything. I was literally bent over backwards for her. I was doing everything. I didn't focus on myself at all, and that was the main issue right there. And then next thing you know, out of nowhere, you kind of get hit with the, oh, I don't think I'm ready for a relationship, not with you at least, type shit. And that shit broke me at first because the shit that she was saying, I'm not gonna say everything, but the shit that she was saying was messing up my head. It was messing up my head because I did all this for you and you still just kind of left me there for no reason. You probably think it's a valid reason, but in my head, I'm thinking like there's no valid reason. But either way, I was only like sad and crying for one day. That's the main thing because she texted me this while I was at work. She broke up with me while I was at work. I went upstairs. I cried. It is what it is. I cried. And I came back downstairs. And then I started really thinking to myself, like, damn, that's low key my fault. Because I saw so many red flags. She told me the red flags and I completely ignored them. And One of the red flags was she couldn't commit. And I still was like, nah, let me jump in and start dating, even though you're telling me your red flags. And that's what I want to talk to everybody about because I know I got some friends and some family who just got out of a relationship, whether they got cheated on or anything like that. You can't get mad once they start acting exactly how they were already acting. Like, sure, they were love bombing you, but they still were showing you that they have their red flags and you chose to ignore them. They sat there, said crazy ass shit, but you just let it slide. But my thing is, you can't put that on every single person of the male or female gender. You can't do that. That's just not fair. That's exactly how you're going to start hurting an actual good man or woman because you're sitting here comparing them to your ex or the one that got away or whatever the fuck you want to say. But in reality, nigga, that's your fault. That's your fault just for the simple fact that, like I said, you saw that they were toxic. You knew they were toxic, but you got that little ass attention, and then you thought shit would be a lot better in the future. Which it's not wrong. It's not wrong to think that, but it is wrong to start blaming everyone once the inevitable happens. Once you fucking once they start avoiding you and then they start getting all weird, and they showed you that. But they showed you exactly what their intentions were. They showed you they can't handle a relationship. They showed you they're very toxic. They showed you crazy ass traits that you thought you can just hurdle over. You completely ran through every red flag looking for a green flag, and that was your one issue right then and there. When instead you should have been looking straight for the red flags, especially when they're 10 times worse than anything you ever dealt with. Or let's say this most of us most of us have a very toxic type, and I've noticed. And my toxic type was always the avoidant. What I mean by toxic type, I mean you don't mean to, but you tend to attract the very toxic people. You obviously don't mean to, but it happens. Maybe it's someone who's like a cheater, someone who beats on motherfuckers, or it's just someone who's very avoidant. And most of us are anxious people because once they start being avoidant, that doesn't make sense to be avoidant in a relationship. If you're not okay with that, excuse me, if you're not okay with that, you should probably leave it. But instead, you want to keep on trying. And that's the issue. You got to know when to call it quits. And that's what I'm starting to realize myself. You got to know when to call it quits because, especially when it comes to an avoidant, because when they're avoiding you, it's because they feel like you're going to end up trying to break up with them. They can't handle that. So they ended it with you first. I just wanted to say I'm trying to better myself. I'm trying to make myself more focused on myself or find a woman where I don't have to put all my focus on her and I can worry about myself as well. I think that's what we all need to be chasing instead of going for the first one that gives us good attention and good vibes because at the end of the day, you don't know that person until you start hearing them talk later on, like a weekend, and then they start showing true colors and shit. Because usually it don't take that long, like people think, unless they're like very good at manipulating. Most of the time, it doesn't take that long. It's just most of us are very we love attention. We love attention. Everyone loves attention, but for me, I don't get that much attention. I know a lot of people feel that exact same way. So you start being thirsty, and then you see this person, and then y'all don't even got anything alike, but you still want them just for the simple fact that they gave you the attention. So you still want to give it a try. And you want to try harder and harder and harder. And then next thing you know, you find out that you're still not enough. That's at the end of the day, that's your fault. That's your fault for putting up with it. It's your fault for simply taking care of them when they weren't taking care of any of your needs. And I think it's way easier to blame yourself anyways, because if you don't blame yourself, you're gonna be sitting there thinking, why did he or she do that? Why did they hurt me so bad? What did I do wrong? Yada yada yada. Instead of immediately thinking, damn, I didn't really deserve that. She did that shit with they honestly, they probably didn't do it with bad intentions. But it's the fact that you did it anyways because you weren't ready for the relationship in the beginning. I know a lot of us end up just jumping into some shit because we don't like to be alone. But that's one thing that we all have to learn is how to be alone. Because if you don't learn how to be alone with yourself and you don't learn how to love yourself, you're gonna end up getting hurt in those relationships, whether they're a good person or not. But you also don't want to be a nonchalant asshole to the point where you start talking shit about the other gender. I never understood that trend. Oh, these men aren't shit. All they do is cheat. Oh, these bitches ain't shit. All they do is want your money and blah, blah, blah. That's not true. That type of mentality is going to make you find the right one, but you're going to push them slowly away just off of the simple fact that now you're living off these toxic ass traits of being nonchalant and thinking they don't deserve your time when in reality they're doing their best for you. That's insane to do. You're not doing anything but causing like it's like one of those times where it's like hurt people. And then it's just gonna continue on and on and on and on. My thing is before we just start jumping into relationships, actually get to know that person. Take like a couple weeks rather than a couple of fucking days. I know dates obviously, but actually take them out rather than sit at home, see how they react in person, see how they react in like public, like active public, at a movie, at a when y'all going out to dinner. Take things slow before you just jump into it and wonder and start thinking, do you really think you can handle this woman's or this man's flaws? Because some of them flaws are pretty fucking big. Like next thing you know, you're dealing with a man who likes to dig in his ass and then he wanna like you don't want to deal with that. Obviously, that's fucking nasty. I'm just saying. But now you're so like trapped into it, and now you feel like you got to deal with it because they gave you that little ass attention. So now you're still hoping that they give you a little bit more sometime soon. But if the attention doesn't stay like that at all times, it's already a bad relationship. Cut that shit off. If they don't feel comfortable enough to talk to you, it's probably going to be done right there, depending on what it's about. And if they have like a problem with your flaws, it's like simple flaws, but they have a problem with it, but they want to talk to you about your flaws, but you can't talk to them about theirs, that's a red flag. That's just simply being selfish as fuck. I think we all definitely need help because we're not shown how to love. We're not shown how to love. We're not shown how to be a good person. So I can't blame her either. Can't blame anyone for that. Everyone has their own journey. Everyone's been hurt. And everyone has their own way of healing. Healing, I'll say. But at the end of the day, you can't keep on being focused on them. You have to focus on yourself. You have to love yourself more than you love the other person because that's the only way you're going to actually be happy with whoever you end up with is by actually loving yourself. Don't find someone to love you for you. You got to love yourself. And like I said, that's the whole reason why I wasn't recording or streaming or anything because I put all my focus into this woman just because I got that little ass got that little ass attention, and I was embarrassed. I was embarrassed of it. I was embarrassed of it just for the simple fact that I knew for 100% fact that I love myself, but I still loved her a lot more than what I ever would love myself, and that shit was insane. That's an insane thing to do, especially when they're not doing anything for you. Because the whole point of a relationship is to actually be a team. Yes, you're supposed to, yes, as a man, you're supposed to be the leader, but they're supposed to be by your side and help you become a better leader. You're a team. And when they're not helping you do anything, but you're helping them with literally everything, it's not a healthy relationship. It's not good. Nothing good about it for you. There's no benefit for you except for continue getting that little ass attention. Then, and that's still rare. That's still a rare thing to get. So that's just my 2 cents on it. I'm gonna start recording again. I just want all my friends and family who's been hurt to realize sometimes it's actually good to blame yourself and to actually figure it out before you just start saying men or women ain't shit. Because just because your man or your ex man was like fucking doing coke in the corner and beating your ass does not mean I'm about to do it. That doesn't make any sense. That's a crazy ass thing to put on every single man or to put on every single woman. Like, oh, she started getting a train ran on her by my dogs. I'm talking about real dogs, but still, no, it hasn't happened. I hope not. That would be insane if your girl is getting a train ran on you by or getting a train ran on her by dogs, like actual dogs, like mammal dogs. Nigga, what are you doing? You're disgusting. You better not be kissing her after. You should have been gone. I just completely got off track because I want to be stupid as hell. That's nasty, bro. That's that's sick. But like I say, I just want my friends to not be like that. I don't like that. I think that's the dumbest thing ever. I don't think that's in any way helpful to you. Don't be nonchalant knowing that that's not you. Most of us are not like that. Most of us can't be nonchalant. We just force ourselves to be nonchalant just because we feel like it's protecting us, but in reality, it's setting you back. Now you're just a piece of shit who's been heartbroken. Now you're really not going to find the one that you want. Think you're protecting yourself, but in reality, you're really endangering your own mental health because you don't want to talk to nobody about nothing. If you don't feel safe around someone, you don't feel safe telling them, then you probably shouldn't be around them. Just to get all that out. It felt good to get all that out. I hope this helps my friends. I hope this helps a lot of people because I am posting this. Obviously, I'm not the motivational speaker. Obviously, I can't do that, especially when I'm just talking to a camera. But I've been thinking about this for a couple days, and like I said, it's breakup season, bro. Everybody's getting cheated on. Everyone's getting broken up with. It's insane. It's like a whole reset in 2026. It's only the first month, so just keep your head up. That goes to my friends and to the people I don't know. Just keep your head up. Everything will be fine. It's a breakup. It's not the end of the world. You're like, especially if you're like around my age, you're in your 20s, you're in your early 20s. Relax. You'll find another one, but take your time and actually learn from your mistakes before you jump into another relationship. Because that's just going to get you right back to where you were. You're going to end up fucking with someone who is just like your ex, and it's not going to be anything different besides they might look a little bit better and maybe have like a little bit of a better personality. All right, I said 10 minutes. This ended up being 20 minutes. It's going to get cut up because obviously some of this shit, I don't know. But just remember, if you if that person is showing you red flags, I'm gonna say this again. If that person is showing you red flags, If you ignore them and then they hurt you, nigga, blame yourself. That is your fault. That is 100% your fault. Because you saw those red flags and then you let it keep going until you started falling in love. That's your fault. You started getting comfortable around someone who was already comfortable with being a piece of shit person. Most people show it at the very beginning. Don't do that. Be smart. All right? Next video will actually be a gaming video. I don't know what I'm playing. I will probably play a scary game. I will probably play a scary game, and then after I play the scary game, I will probably play a hard time. Know that for sure. And that'll be it. I don't know. I know Resident Evil is coming out. High on Life's coming out. We're definitely gonna play those. And I'm gonna focus on myself. I'm gonna do my best to focus on just myself. Actually try to make a thing with this YouTube thing. Stop worrying about looking for love. I'm gonna worry about loving myself. Now I'll probably still go on dates and shit. I don't mind doing that, but in the meantime, keep on loving myself. Just like you should keep on loving yourself. If you don't love yourself, there's no point in you being in a relationship. Stop looking for someone else to love you for you. All right. If you like, leave a comment, subscribe, tell your friends, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace, y'all.